For our regular viewers, last time we interviewed Neal Adams, Jerry Robinson showed up, his son showed up.
Oh, you see that car over there?
I do.
You intercut a shot of the car,
Yeah.
right? And it costs $14,000,
Right.
which is very low for a family. It's a 4-door. The handle of the back door is up on the window, up by the window. You see it up there? You'll be able to do an intercut of that too. And General Motors asked different people, asked DC, asked Marvel, ask Dark Horse, and somebody else to do decals for the car because they wanted to present it here because this is, I don't know, a people's convention. So I did, well, the best one with my son Joel, who did all the matching edges and stuff. Anyway, so I did mine, and it's cool, but the thing that's cool about it is that if you know anything about me, I do get involved in, hey, shit that's happening and maybe important and significant. Well, I'm not recommending people buy this car, but I am saying this is America's first entry into the small car, family car market, and it really looks like a good car. And they worked the deal with the unions where they can produce it for the price point that they need to produce it at. And if you think $14,000, those of you who have purchased cars, when a modest car now costs $25,000, you're spending $10,000 less. That's a monthly charge, $100 or $150 less. You can really afford to buy a car like this. I think this is America's first shot at doing a car that is for Americans in this economy, which sucks. Okay.
Hey, you don't have to tell me.
And that they came to me. I have a feeling they looked in their crystal balls and said, hey, who's going to like this? Probably Neal. We'll get him to do it for free. So anyway, you'll see from your intercuts that it's very cool.
I'm sure it will. And right, that's a very interesting project, and very interesting that you have the car out here. You mentioned working with your son. Now, there are a lot of different jobs where people get used to working with your son. People tend not to think of artists as doing that way. Is that something you expected to have when you had your sons?
Yes, on the day that my sons were born, I looked at them and I said, you a little shit? You're going to be an animation designer. And you're going to be a sculptor. And you're going to be a comic book artist. And they all did it. On the day they were born, they were told us, and they became it. That's incredible.
It is.
Anybody who has kids, you can do that. Just point at them and go like, you're going to become the President of the United States, and they will become the President of the United States. My son, Jason, has now illustrated a Doctor Who comic book. My son Joel designed the car and does a series of little fairy characters, I don't know, very strange. And he's this big, giant person. And my son Jason is a sculptor. He's over in Artist Alley selling his sculptures and having a hard time of it because there's so many sculptors around. And here I am selling photos of this goddamn car. No offense. So anyway, and Krusty Bunkers t-shirts. You know what the Krusty Bunkers were? See that t-shirt? Hand the camera over there. That is the ugliest t-shirt on earth. And that t-shirt was first printed when we were saving artwork back in the 70s because they would be giving it to very bad inkers. So we got together in the studio and we rescued artwork from Howie Chaykin and people like that and inked it well because we had different people inking different parts. Jeff Jones would come in, we have him do the women. Other people would only do backgrounds. No, you can't do the woman. No, you don't ink very well. You suck. And so Larry Hama came up with this idea, why don't we do a Krusty Bunkers? Well, we call ourselves a Krusty Bunkers. And Larry said, why don't we do a Krusty Bunkers t-shirt? So we stole a drawing from the phone book of a plumber, and then we made sure that it was so badly designed that no one would ever approve such a t-shirt. Every line of copy is done with a different typeface, which nobody would ever do, of course. And so we have decided to resurrect Krusty Bunkers t-shirt for all those oldies but goodies who remember the old Krusty Bunkers.
Okay. Oh my God. And okay, I have to ask then now, since you said you were always up on the goings on of the day, and you're here in New York, the center of Occupy Wall Street. Anything to those people sleeping outdoors?
I am so into that. I am so like, I don't know about you, but I was like working and I thought, I'm getting up, I'm going out, I'm going to occupy Wall Street. Those sons of... My wife started to read to me the kind of percentages above a normal worker that executives get paid in other countries, and then what they get paid in America. It's like,
I believe one was the CEO of Japan makes 5 times what the average worker makes. The average CEO in America makes 145 times what the average American worker makes.
We're doing something wrong. We're just like the lunatics have taken over the asylum. We've messed up our country. We need to save it. And I think that this car is part of it. I think that everything that we do as Americans, we ought to get to the point where we say, hey, I'm going to make a difference. I mean, okay, I'll use myself as an example. Okay. Have I made a difference in our industry?
I'd say so.
Because I decided to. That's how people ought to think. You don't think by thinking in a negative way. You don't think by saying, oh, I can't do anything about that, so I'm not going to do anything. People should vote. People should get out and march on Wall Street. People should activate their brain cells and do the things for all their neighbors and themselves that they should do. And that's how Americans ought to be. We started that way. Why did we lose it? Do I sound like I'm doing a political campaign?
It sounds like you're doing an awesome political campaign.
I'll tell you another thing we ought to do. I know I don't want to get into this, but I'm going to talk about it. Why don't American companies, when they hire people in other countries, pay them what we call minimum wage? They don't have to pay them $20 an hour. You can pay them $7 an hour or $5 an hour. But minimum wage. The minimum wage law was created to protect Americans. Well, how do we protect Americans? By letting companies go to other countries and pay people 40 cents an hour. You're not helping Americans, and you're not helping those people in those other countries. Pay them $5 an hour, let them send their kids to school, let them build their houses, let them live like human beings, and you know what? They won't smuggle themselves across the border. They'll be paid well in their countries, and they'll come to America, as everybody does to New York, on a vacation. I just think that we run things so badly, and we do have the minimum wage law, and we don't protect ourselves with it. We can help the whole world by establishing America's minimum wage in the whole world. And that's the end of my political speech for today.
Very wise and actually kind of inspiring words. Thank you very much for you, Neal Adams. Thank you. Thank you very much. I am Tim Dowd. This is Neal Adams, and we are on The Take.